Hello, my lovely peaches. It's really funny. It's summertime. It's August 10th, 2020. What time is it? Oh, it's exactly 5 o'clock on the dot. It's 5:00 o'clock p.m. on Monday, August 10th, 2020. And I feel so fully empowered. I feel so fully empowered to say that after a couple of years of thought experiments, several years of thinking about love, redefining love, thinking about lack of love, thinking about self-love, thinking about self-worth, thinking about myself and all of my experiences and all of the experiences that I had that I labeled love, in love, romantic love, and all of the feelings that I have had for different people in my life that I labeled love and in love. And finally, it's like I almost feel like I'm coming full circle because I shared and wrote a long post that was inspired and titled from a statement that Matthew Hussey made about unrequited love, saying, that's not love, that's ugly, that's really ugly. And I wrote all about that, and I knew it to be true. But at the same time, I felt what I thought was in loveness for an SP, a specific person, and I got seduced by the thought that some people promote and believe in, that you can have any SP that you want no matter what. And as much as I knew unrequited love is not love, that's actually lack of love, and you're not loving yourself if you're trying to somehow manifest forcibly, or if you're trying to forcibly or passively manifest in loveness with someone specific who specifically doesn't want you or can't have you. Is that a thought experiment? Is that law of attraction? Is that if you believe in it enough, you can make it real? Is it actually just going down the negative spiral of emotions of lack of love, lack of self-worth, lack of expansive belief systems that know that what you want wants you back? And coming from such a confusing story of origin and all of the ways that manifested out and unfolded into my life, I really need I have needed to go through all of these various courses and paths and levels and ideas and concepts and try it on for myself. Move in, unpack all these things, look at it, analyze it, all that self-exploration and all that stuff, and thought experimenting and experimenting with different belief systems. And when you have junky belief systems that you have to dismantle and crumble and then build up new ones, it's like sometimes people kind of go from religion to religion to religion, and an outsider might look at them and say they're super lost. Like, what's this person's problem? But that person may be just truly searching for something that feels authentic and genuine, and it's not that they're necessarily being fake or phony. It's that they're trying to find where they belong and trying to find what they believe in and trying to, learn other people's beliefs to see, how does this feel? Does this feel right to me? And I have been practicing with different belief systems about love and romantic love and in love. And, love is a word that is, almost infinite in the variety of ways that you could love someone, types of love. Love for your children, love for your parents, platonic love for, dance and art and music and pottery, and love for your friends, and love for food, and love for walking, and love for reading and writing, and love of nature, and love of helping others, and love of being kind, and love for compassion, and love of certain religions and cultures, and love of your hair, love of your body, love of fitness, love of health. But love of health in what way? There's a million ways to think of health, so love itself is a word that is so multifaceted. And when I specifically am focused on in love kind of love as the type of love that is so important to me, romantic love, that I need to learn how to define in a healthy way. And I have really explored a lot of different ways of thinking about it, and I feel like I've come full circle back to that same Matthew Hussey statement. That's not love. As far as it's called unrequited love, or the idea that you are romantically in love with someone who is not romantically in love with you, or committed to you in the ways that you want to be committed. Like I talked about in the previous video, Hart committed to me in some ways. He really committed that he wouldn't have sex with anybody else other than me. He committed that he wouldn't start romantic leaning relationships with anyone else. But he also, obviously it was equally beneficial for him in a way to be locked into this non-committal commitment, because it's like there's this the feeling of safety, but the reality of complete insecurity in every way. So what I've come full circle to say is, any thoughts of unrequited love anytime that you want to label the feeling of love, in love or romantic love, but that other person, the person of your attention, the person of your adoration, the person of your focus, the subject of your love that you direct, who does not want it. Every moment that I focus my attention on that person, shining what I think is in love, romantic love, every single moment, every single second and millisecond focused on another person in an in love, romantic framework, concept, idea, hope, wish, thought, belief, thought experiment, heart open to someone who's not willing to do it back, is itself a lack of love. Period. It's a lack of self-love, and it's a lack of love for the other. I talked about this. I gotta go find where I talked about this. This was when I went to the park, down the 5-7 minute walk away park that we haven't been to in months and months and months. It has a red path with trees all around God, yes. Actually, I haven't taken any videos over there since last September, when I last had a phone. So, a smartphone. And I knew inside of me that any feelings towards someone, an SP, specific person, with myself being open, and any time at all spent thinking about, wishing about, hoping for, wanting a specific person who's made it clear that they don't specifically want you back is just continuing to lack of love self. Always embody. I want to say this. I just finished my notebook, and I finished it on a good note. Always embody this truth. The act of desiring and wanting someone who doesn't want you, the idea of loving as in love, romantic love, loving anyone who doesn't mutually reciprocate that loving desire of romantic love is an act of lack of love for self and other. If you really love someone, you don't want them to be with someone they don't want to be with. Even if that's you. Even if that's me. If the man that I want doesn't want me, and if I really love him, then I don't want him to be with someone he doesn't want to be with, which is me, and I don't want me to be with someone who doesn't want to be with me if I love me. So this is me finally coming through all the thought experiments of you can have any SP you want if you really believe in it, if you let go of the blocks and all of that stuff, to say the only SP that you can have, the only specific person that you can have is a specific person that wants to be had by you, that wants you. Out on the walk the other day, I started to say, we can only manifest a relationship. We can only manifest a relationship. The highest level that you can manifest. The highest level that you can manifest in a relationship with any other person is the highest level that they themselves are willing and desiring to go with you. And that's that. And if I say that to myself and I understand that and I take out the sting of the personal rejection, even if it is a personal rejection, the more I know and embody in a cellular level that being personally rejected is still ultimately the same truth, that even if a person previously did love you, love me, commit to me, commitment, true commitment in my definition of it, requires daily renewal. Yes, it's a commitment, but the idea that the commitment in a romantic, loving commitment will automatically renew itself every single day without needing to tend to it and maintain it is in my belief the source of many lack of love issues. You think because someone committed to you yesterday that they are automatically required to commit to you today. And when we say vows like I love you till death do us part, in sickness and health and rich and poor, it's like, what the fuck? That might sound really good, but when it comes to the truth of it, it's not always cut and dry. It's not always like, well, we're sick or we're poor or this or that, through no doing of choices. Now, sometimes terrible things happen and you want to feel secure that your partner, your committed person is going to be there for you when the chips are down. But the reality is that that's something that person has to want too. And sometimes it's easy to make those promises when everything is rosy and peachy. But then when the real shit fits the hand and you really fucking know, holy fuck, there's shit flying in my face and in my mouth and everywhere. And, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, actual, real, financial, and all of these things that come with an actual real person. You see, the whole I love you till death do us part, through sickness and health, and richer and poor, and basically no matter how low it gets, and no matter how high it gets, and no matter what happens, and no matter what we change, I'm going to be with you and only you. But the reality is that even if you both feel that way on the day you say it, I feel like if you're both committed to knowing that actually every day I get to recommit, which means I can't take it for granted. I can't just like, oh, okay, you promised me forever, no matter how fucking good or bad it's ever going to be, so now I'm just going to become complacent. I don't want to ever say those kind of vows. I say I want to have a husband and I want to have a life partner, but that's the kind of commitment I want to make with that person who, and I want somebody who has such a zest for life, who is in such a path of purpose and intention that they realize he's a power creator and I'm a power creator, and when we come together we're going to power create, and we cannot guarantee what that's going to bring, and we're going to do everything we can each day to commit to it. But it's like I don't in any way think I have a strong feeling against when people start romantic relationships with other people while they're in a commitment, and I have a problem with friendships with someone who, whatever your sexual orientation or your gender orientation or any of that is, if that person is someone who you find attractive sexually, romantically, and physically, and you really like them, and you're pretending that they're just a friend, you're committed to someone else and you have this other person, and you can't be with them romantically, so you're just having just a friendship, but really you actually really would like to get fit, like in my case, when I got committed with heart, the person I'm talking about exactly, the person I'm imaginarily talking about is the exact person Val was, a friend, but I actually really wanted to be with him, and I knew that just being friends was only asking that. Somewhere in my mind I knew if I let that happen, that happening again with him was too close to real, and I don't believe that that is truly committing. Now, what I did try to do was to be honest with heart that I was only half honest. I told him about the past, but I didn't tell him, that's another thing. If I had been totally honest and it was like, God, I have so many strong feelings for him, that probably wouldn't have gone in the way I wanted to go, but who knows? I mean, that's what I'm saying. My behavior of becoming 1,000% committed to someone who told me he didn't want to have a family and get married was an act of lack of loving for myself and lack of self-worth in my belief that I the thing is, I thought, you are specialer than me. You don't want to marry me, but maybe I can prove to you how worthy I am by you seeing how good I can love you, and how good I love you over these years is going to convince you. I don't know. So a zillion percent, I now completely believe again. Or I should say, when I heard it, it sounded super true to me. It sounded super true to me, but I wasn't in the emotional space where I was worthy enough to embody that truth. if I had been worthy enough to embody the truth that there's no such thing as romantic in loveness with someone who doesn't love you back, once they don't love you back or want you back, or they don't try anymore, it's not romantic in loveness. Now it's just obsession or fixation or commitment to someone who once was, or commitment to someone you hope will be, commitment to Matthew Hussey. The other thing he says is, the one day. Commitment to the one day. Commitment to one day in real life. This specific person is going to manifest and embody my fantasy version of our love, even though they are not doing that now. And you wait around, not because you're actually in love with this special person, but because your lack of loving yourself into an obsessive fixation with the wrong person. And why you're able to do that is because you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. You don't believe that you're worthy of love. And the only reason that it's even possible to think that this person who doesn't want you could ever be a good partner to you is because of the fact that you don't love yourself. If that person is truly, truly, truly the best one for you, the only way that they're going to realize it is if you fucking say, you don't want me? You could be the best love of my life. You might be the sexiest, cutest, best well-matched in every single detail that I could come down to, the nitty-gritty detail of that you are item by item by item, the best of the best of the best. But the most important qualification that even lets all those other fucking qualifications get in my fucking basket is that you are available emotionally, mentally, romantically, physically, spiritually. You're interested. I said in the other video that I will never again be romantically interested in anyone who's not romantically interested in me. And I wanted to clarify, I'm never going to act out on my romantic interests. And I'm never going to play it out in my mind. If I see someone and you spark my romantic interest, or if I remember somebody, SP from the past, and you sparked my romantic interest, but that interest is not reciprocated, sparked back. If my spark of romantic interest in you is not sparked back by you, then I put it on the shelf and say, that ain't it. If I have a lot of work to do on myself, and me getting myself right is what's going to spark that interest in that person, and that person will come back up. You see, there's no reason why you have to X out someone forever in your mind. You don't have to, unless, I'm trying to say like two sentences at once. Unless you have a real reason to. Like, I have reasons why there's certain people who they are X'd out romantically forever. Like, I got reasons why you are X'd out romantically forever, because you're not well matched for me, not then, not now, not in the future, not ever. And if you know that, you know that. Good for you. And then there might be someone or a few people who they're not X'd out romantically forever, because it's not like they've done you wrong, but they're not interested in you, and they've made that clear in whatever way. They're not available. So you don't X them out forever, like, internally, I'm saying. But you do take them out of the romantic viable options, like there's people in your past that were very traumatic experiences. You can learn from that. There's people in your past you were with, it didn't work out. You can learn from that. There's people in your past you desired and it didn't work out the way you wanted, even if you got some but you didn't get all. There's stuff you can learn from that. And the most important thing that I'm really learning from taking 6 years to stay single, to not date, to put my introspective nature full throttle and let it rain and let it REIN or REIGN reign. Let it be the queen. Let it just let every invisible fence exist out around me. Let me block out any and every potential suitor while I heal from, this is what I'm saying, like I did say some of it in here, I think. Now I think I get to the point of reading this. The last video I talked about, I sent a mug, a personalized mug to SP for his birthday, and I'm pretty sure it didn't say who it was from. And I said that I was salty that he didn't even reach out to me to see if it was from me. So the first note I had made about this video is I'm not salty. I feel released. I feel like his consistently abiding by the truth that he's not my guy is the consistent abiding of the absence of that SP in my life is a truth that's just so manifested that I really am embodied into the knowing of it. I don't feel salty. I bought a secret gift and that's it. And I don't need to call you or text you or say, I don't need a thank you. I'm fine. Feeling the clarity of the truth entering and existing and being inside my cells of my true worthiness and of the truth that any loss I have been feeling regarding old SP, Heart, and the other one, Val, was a loss that I actually pushed into existence, into being, through my choices and lack of ability to be truly intimate with myself and others. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that it took this long for me to get to understand how the things that happened when I was little played out in my adult relationships. And also I'm able to really feel deep inside of me, I'm able to feel that those losses, the loss of the relationship with Heart and the romantic relationship with Heart and the romantic relationship with Val, sexual friendship, those were losses that were 11 years ago and 19 years ago. And, you know, when we first met and I disqualified myself from eligibility or ability to even be that specific person. I mean, I probably did it with Heart. Way back in high school, the first year that I even knew of his existence, I never even had the courage to say hello. I was like obsessed with his adorableness, and he never even looked at me. And that was the kind of, like, the same exact thing happened the first time I ever saw Val. He walked down the hallway, he didn't even notice me. And I was like, you know, so it's like immediately the feeling of, I'm invisible, but they are amazing. And the continued rising knowing in my cells, all my cells and vibrations and vibrational wiggles, all knows and is the truth that I am lovable. And my Mr. Husband Partner guy feels this truth in every cell of his being. I didn't believe that I deserved to be loved the way I wanted. It's taken me many years to get here, but I'm glad for the time that I had. And I really truly now I feel like as a love coach, I feel like I'm more ready than ever to coach myself, because it's like I'm suddenly feeling a stacking up in my DNA of all of the love and the teachings and the energy of all of the teachers. I remember one day I was in my sister's car and we were driving somewhere. She was driving us somewhere, and I said something about excitement about another teacher I found, and she kind of sarcastically, or like, in a way that I felt was like kind of belittling me, like something, like it wasn't a good thing. She was like, "Oh, you found another guru, huh? Another guru to follow." And I was like, I don't follow. And then I'm like, well, I don't follow like a sheep, but I am open to learning from people. Like, I'm a student. I am learning. I'm not following them like, like they're a cult leader and I'm just like obsessed about and doing everything a person is saying. But that's what I was just feeling, like sliding into my DNA, all of the teachers, and I could start naming them, but then it's like the list, because I did have a video where I named, for like 20 minutes, I named teachers that I love, Vishen Lakhani, and so many, Matthew Hussey, and my Dooley Thoughts Become Things, David Friedman, The Thought Exchange, Abraham Hicks, Teal Swan. And the thing is that all of these different teachers all of these teachers are SPs, specific people. Everyone is an SP. That's what's really funny. This whole thing about you can have any SP you want, but the truth is, no, you can't, because everybody is a specific person. Everybody has free will. Everybody has their own angel of love and light that is them, that is their infinite being. Every angel of love and light has their own purpose and their own SP or SPs that they came here to be with. Everyone has their own purpose. And the whole mind fuck, heart fuck, body fuck, spiritual fuck idea that if you try hard enough, if you try hard enough to not try hard enough, if you try hard enough to not try at all, if you want it enough to not want it, if you somehow fucking magically do this, you can make anyone want you. And that is a fucking heart trap. No, you fucking can't, nor should you. Just like not anyone could fucking manifest you, you can't manifest anyone. There are people that no matter what they fucking do, no matter how much money they have, no matter how sexy or beautiful they are in the face, in the body, no matter how good they eat out this or they suck out this or they no matter how interesting they are, no matter how perfectly romantically aligned your visions are, if the energy isn't there, if it's, it's like you can have a whole lot of one thing. This is another thing that, where is that book? The Maps of Love. The Maps of Love that I talk about. The third entity of we is a garden. It's also a map. Like if you were to have a map of your garden, then every third entity of we's map of garden would be like a fingerprint, unique. And that means every third entity of we garden that you create with a different person is slightly different. Even though you're the same and you can only bring to your garden what you have, and that's why you need to focus on your truth, your authenticity, healing. If it needs to take you 6 years to heal and get to a place where you even want to trust someone again, and you even want to share your body again, and you even want to share your day, and you're going grocery shopping. And one of the things that Val SP, he had no interest in doing any of the things with me that you would need to do to have a relationship. And I have a strong desire to have a partner who looks forward to doing things together, because it makes it more fun when you're with someone that's fun to be with, who thinks you're fun to be with. And I spent 7 years in a relationship with Hart, a man who didn't really think it was fun to be with me. And all the whole time I was wishing I had a boyfriend who loved me and loved to be with me, but at the same time, deeply not knowing why, I didn't believe I was entitled to that. And I also somehow thought Hart is so special that his specialness is more important than the fact that he doesn't love me the way I deserve to be loved. But I don't believe I deserve to be loved that way, because I don't have the self-worth. So I can idolize him and put him on a pedestal at the same time that he doesn't even love me and give me the things that I need and want and deserve. And so that fucking mindfuck skewed of reality that someone who doesn't want you could somehow be a viable partner. The only way you could ever even think that is if you don't love yourself enough to want yourself to be happy, because someone who doesn't want you won't ever make you happy. Someone who can say to you, this isn't time for you to be happy because you're struggling and you need a helping hand, and they think the answer is go fucking suffer. Go prove what? Go prove that my life should be miserable and suffered and overworked just because that's how you live? And then I tell myself, then I beat myself up for not being good enough because somebody's negative perspective of me and of life and of love and of happiness and of help and of friendship makes me feel lackful. So true love, true romantic love that's healthy has to start always with two people who are committed to the partnership for joyful reasons. Not for financial reasons, not for convenience, not for the children, not for the business, not for the house, not for any of that stuff, because ultimately you're going to be miserable, locked into an unhappy circumstance, even in a big house, even in a big company. So now I'm kind of at the bottom, starting from scratch. So I'm going to hug this notebook. This notebook that I've been writing in since March of 2020. And let's see, what did I say on the very first day? New notebook, new pen, world happening, pandemic, COVID. School's closing for 2 to 4 weeks or indefinitely. And now here it is, mid-August. And most likely September school is going to be, well, my kids are going to already be doing fully remote. That started, I lost my job. So let's see. How long did it take me to mention that SP by name? 1.5 pages. Because I was cat sitting. And she was going home the next day. And that turned out to be the last time I seen him. Five months ago. It's taken me 5 months to realize you are not in love with that person. You have not been in love with that person since probably 2008, when I made the decision to go with Hart, not Val. that was a choice that I made to cut him out of my life, and I regretted it. It took me all these years to work my way through it and work my way through understanding, why was I so awful to this guy that I loved so much? Why did I love this guy so much, but show up like such a fucking cheating, lying, unfaithful, untrustworthy person? Why did I never tell him how I felt? And if I hadn't gone through this, I would have never known that I had been molested. It was 5 years of celibacy that finally brought up. I finally knew. I finally was able to get intimate with myself. Finally, after 5 years of not having any partner to blame anything on during sex and all of the repercussions of the feelings of it, but myself, as me being the one and only person who ever touched myself sexually in the last 6 years, essentially creating a sexual relationship between myself and myself, and never knowing why I would burst into excruciating pain and instantly drop into the dungeon of no love and no self-worth and of despair. Every time I would orgasm, it was just intense and powerful. And after years of this, I finally started to go deeper into that dungeon and deeper into the what the fuck is in here? What is this? What is this that makes it impossible for me to be sexually intimate or romantically intimate or even hardly intimate with anyone? And I finally know. And I finally feel free to learn how to love a man who can see the beauty in me. And I finally know that I'm free to stop wishing that I was loved by a man the way I deserve to be loved, and just start knowing that I am loved by a man the way I deserve to be loved. I just have to stop looking at this dead garden. I looked at the dead garden and I tended to it. I spent 6 years, 5 years, tending to the third entity of we love garden between me and Val. That map, all those avenues of love that we walked along, and trying to understand my resistance, my choices, my feelings, all the little things that happened, all the cat sitting things, and him buying me the computer off Craigslist that was a piece of shit, and bumping into his ex-girlfriend unexpectedly, and all the shit that brought up, and him essentially just like, and him consistently staying away. Him staying away and doing tiny little bit of things, but then staying away. And the only thing that he's consistently done is to stay away. And that has also helped me to focus on me. I did use him as a romantic invisible fence. He was a layer of invisible fence. The idea of him, the unresolved feelings that I had for him, and the not understanding why, which was essentially, I was sexually molested as a child, and that, along with all the other abuses that I experienced and the consistent flow of abusive relationships and experiences, I had no fucking self-worth, no idea of that I was able, that I had the ability or the eligibility or the worth to be eligible for someone that would be a real good husband. And I didn't even have the ability to discern that. You know, it does seem that now that he just turned 50 and he's been what I believe is celibate, single for like 11 years and with no apparent interest. It doesn't hurt anymore when you realize it's not love. It's like, God, it's like, it feels like a magic switch. It feels like, oh wait, that's not in love? You mean when I think of that person and I think I'm in love with them, but I realize, but then, you know, then I remember, like, well, it can't be in love if they don't want you back. Oh, they don't want me back. You know, it's like, it's the instant closure. It's the instant, it's like, it soothes. It's like, every time he pops up in my mind, there's this soothing balm that says, that's not in love. If it was in love, it would feel amazing. If it was in love, it would be lovely. You would think of in love, the man who's going to make you feel loved is going to be a lovely man that wants the job. And that's the only man that I want to be with, because all those other guys, they are impossible to please. They don't think I'm worthy. And you know what? I'm not Cinderella. I'm not going to be the little, you know, like in that song, Tainted Love. Was that the song? No, it was the song, he's like, you were working as a waitress in a cocktail bar when I met you, and even then I knew. Basically, he thinks that, you know, he made her the shit. Like that Beyonce song, the voice you think you gave to me. I feel so much happier knowing I'm not in love with someone who doesn't want me. It's not even possible. It is impossible to be in love with someone who doesn't want you, because that's not in loveness. That's obsessive, fixated, fantasy, lack of love, lack of self-worth story that you're hooked on. That's Shenpa. That's not love. That's something that needs to be healed. And I feel healed. I don't have to hate you, and I can still love you, and I do. But I also see the throne of my king is open. It's open and receptive to a man who's going to be like, oh yeah, there's my throne. My heart and commitment to the power partnership of love.